Hey, it's Jeremy from Firehouse Labs with another release video for version 0.19.0 of the StationOne platform. I'm going to try and keep this video a little bit shorter and just look at two of the major feature inclusions in this release. As usual, these are based on our feedback from our users, so we've got them into this release. There is some other features that have been included and some changes which are available in the full release notes for this version. But the first thing that I wanted to walk through is the new asset manager feature. So obviously we already have equipment which looks at most commonly equipment that is issued with appliances, so things like chainsaws and gas detectors and those kind of things. Typically things that units aren't necessarily purchasing, but are provided as operational equipment. Our asset manager looks at, as you would expect, a sort of standard asset register of items that the unit has purchased themselves and may either put onto appliances or alternatively use around the station, computers and screens and TVs and all of those kind of things. So you can see in this demo data here, I've already got a couple of things in here that we've just been testing with. So it's pretty straightforward to add a new asset, basically by giving it a name, an identifier, so we can call it whatever if you're using some kind of internal asset scheme. We've got categories, manufacturers, so we'll put in whatever, 10 or something. Serial numbers, we can pop in serial number. Purchase date, obviously important for depreciating assets, so we'll pop that in today. So that cost $800. Purchased it at Officeworks. So we've got a funding source field, and this is exposed in the reporting. So if you were running a specific fundraiser to purchase, some equipment or assets for your unit, you can then expose that back through reporting. So you can say, we were successful in purchasing X, Y, and Z worth, this sort of dollar amount. So we can put that in there. We've got a warranty expiry, and we've got some, quick chips to set that future date. So this will obviously notify you when that warranty period is up, and you can associate it with a room that you've got existing in StationOne. We're not planning to replace this at this point, and there is also this option to register it as equipment. So that will obviously make it available then for routine inspections, associations to appliances and things like that that you're already used to with the existing equipment feature. And likewise, from the equipment interface, we can make a piece of equipment an asset. So there is basically backwards compatibility support for you to add any existing equipment over to your asset register if you need to. So we create that asset, which is all good. We can also allocate this to a member. So if you've purchased a laptop for the captain or something like that, or a training coordinator, you can actually allocate that asset out to them. We've got our audit and verification. So basically you can verify that the asset is there. So if you walk around the unit once a year and you want to validate everything, we can do that and put in a last seen. We can attach files, receipts, invoices and all of that kind of stuff, as you would expect in a standard asset register. We can retire that, and we can also do the replacement planning stuff. So we can say, we're going to replace this laptop in 3 or 4 years time, and we're going to want to target that for around the same time. We're going to say, let's say laptops have gone up by then, so we'll put that in there as well for our replacement. So now we've got that laptop is in our asset register. You can see here the quick cut and this thermal imaging camera that we've purchased from our own funds are also linked as equipment items. And then we can come into our replacement planning. So we've got, basically starting to run costs to help you potentially target some fundraising and things like that. And obviously retired assets appear in here as well. So if you no longer have it or you've disposed of it, when we do dispose of that asset, we do have some options that appear. So we can select the reason. So if you sold that, scrapped it, donated it, or whatever, we can capture all of that data into our retirement screen as well, just to ensure that everything's covered. There is an asset report available, so you can get your total cost of assets and all of that kind of stuff that you would expect. And we can also export that asset register. So as I said, when we do that, you'll get a CSV of all of the data on each asset, including the funding source and things like that. So hopefully, this is something that will assist units in managing their internal assets and potentially get away from another spreadsheet. This is something that's been quite requested. And just jumping over to our equipment here, so we can actually edit these now, and we can add them into the asset register, as I mentioned. So, any equipment that you have already added to StationOne that is actually an asset that the unit has purchased and wishes to track, just come in, edit it, and add it to the asset register, and that'll transfer that over, and everything will continue to effectively work as it did prior. The other feature that we've included in this release is our training skills plans. So under our training menu now, you'll see that there is a skills maintenance section here. So basically what we can do is create skills plans, custom skills plans. So if we have a look at this tanker one here, you can see we've got some topics and skills for that member to achieve. And this one's for a tanker sign-off as an example. There's another one here for some wildfire stuff. So we've got a bunch of different topics and whatnot in here. These are really simple to create. So we give it a name, we basically pop in a deadline. We can have these auto cycling every year. So if you had skills plans that you wanted your members to manage their competency on an annual basis, we can allow this skills plan to roll over. So on December 31st, overnight, it will clear that skills plan and the member will get a new one to start working through. So you can see we've got that option to automatically roll over. We can show the progress on the station portal for members who have validated themselves and we know who they are, so they can see where they're at in the progress cycle of that skills training plan. We can make these templates as well. So if you did have any vehicle inductions, specific skills plans for drivers or things like that that you wanted to reuse for each time there's a new driver, we can do that through here as well. So we'll just put in test skills plan, and we'll leave it as it is. Safety, so we'll put annual burnover in here, and we'll create that. So on the next screen, it'll ask us who we want the skills plan to be associated with. So you can either associate them with just individual members. So if you were working on some skills uplift or something, or someone was targeting a high level of qualification, they had to meet certain requirements, we can target them, or we can select all of the members in here as well. So basically just selecting one member, and we'll save that. So now we've got that new plan that is created here. There'll be no progress on here, but if we do come into this one here and have a look at our progress, so basically what you can see is all of those sections broken out, and we can basically tick off people manually who have achieved those particular skills through their training or demonstrated them in some other way. So we can basically mark that skill as complete and track the progress of people who are obtaining these skills. The other way we've implemented to ensure that people can meet the requirements of these skills is to actually link training sessions to a skills plan. So if we have a look now, when we create a training session, there is a new section in here for our skills plans if they're created and enabled. So what I can do now is say, we're going to do a running grass and scrub training session, and I want that to target, we're going to do some drafting, and we're going to boost from the hydrant, for example. So anyone who is marked after the completion of this session as attending will then obtain the completion of that particular skill set. So basically, if you're aligning these with your training sessions and you have the skills plan active, there is no requirement to manually go in and actually maintain those skills plans for members, which is fantastic. So we've also got the member progress down here as well. So you can see this one's for Sarah, who's been doing the tanker sign-off, but we can also come in, as I said, and change into different skills plans and see the progress of those as they're going. As I mentioned, there's also the templates. So you can see I've created a tanker sign-off as a template. I can edit that and the skills that exist within this particular skills plan. And then basically, if I have a new member that's coming up and intending to become a tanker driver or a tanker operator, I can use that template in here, and I can put, tanker and we'll put John, and then basically we want them to complete that this year. We don't want it to roll over. We do want them to be able to see their progress. You can see everything's loaded in here from the template, and then provided I've got a John, which I do, we can save that there. So now John has a individual plan to target upskilling specifically to operate the tanker, both driving and pumping skills in here. And obviously this will be, as they go through that, a little bit different in terms of this, that someone would have to come in and manually update their progress as you're taking them through, each of these increments. But equally, you could also create a training session for them and do the tanker and align it to all of those skills. If we jump over to our station portal, we're currently validated as Sarah here. So if we scroll down now, we can see any of those skills plans that have been set to show on the station portal, so the member can actually track their progress against these. So we can see that Sarah has attended the safety training session on the 11th of May, and then likewise obviously for her driving skill stuff, which nothing's been signed off as yet, but she will be able to see the progress of any of those skills plans that are associated with her, and the same applies to anyone else who's validated against the station portal. So our skills plans feature is available, and the asset manager. As I said, we've made some other changes and updates to various parts of the platform, which are available through our full release notes. And again, majority of that stuff is all either feature requests or change requests that have come from our users. So we've tried to get as much of that into this release as we can, while ensuring that everything's tested and stable and good to go. So version 0.19 is now available. And as always, we'll jump into getting the next release prepared and out in probably a week's time. So thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one.